Shivarudrappa garu,
Yes, sir.
sir, you can start in 5 minutes, sir.
Sure,
Wait
sure,
for
sir.
5 minutes.
I am ready, sir. I am ready.
Okay. Ravi Kirti will introduce you.
Yeah, please.
Please send your brief biodata to me also. मेरे भी भेज दीजिए, WhatsApp में भेज दो.
Already I sent, no, sir?
Okay, I will.
You want me to resend it?
No, I will see.
Okay. So not much to say, just what I am doing.
No, whatever, sir.
What I am doing that I have shared.
Actually, respected Rudrappa Garu, the text that you have shared, that I could see also when it was sent to me by Ravi.
Please.
The very first paragraph is a sweeping statement.
Yes.
The illiteracy, the political illiteracy, and the stupidity in it, and so serious a statement. It's very excellent.
Thank
The
you, sir.
quote,
Thank you, sir.
the quote
That is the reality, in fact.
the quote you have given is eye-opening, very seriously.
Yeah.
And to so-called highly learned persons, in quotes, persons, I don't want to give them the word persons, learned fellows, so-called learned fellows, should feel shy for their horrible illiteracy.
Sir, good evening, sir. We'll discuss later.
Ravi Kirti, sir. Ravi Kirti garu. Ravi Kirti.
He is coming, sir. He joined, but
We can start in 4 minutes. If he comes, okay. Otherwise, Ravi, you can also introduce. Ravi Kirti is on the way to some journey. I will send. పంపించాను.
Yes, sir, I got.
Sir, I was stuck up in the traffic actually. I could not hear, but my network is also too weak actually. Please carry on, sir. If I get a time, I will join, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Ravi, 7:10 we can start.
Yes, sir. So you introduce the first introduction.
Sukhdev ji, good evening. Jai Bhim.
Lakshman, sir.
Huh?
You are giving locomotives.
No, you can start everything. You can tell everything.
Okay.
सुखदेव जी,
जय भीम सर, गुड इवनिंग।
गुड इवनिंग सर, कहाँ हैं? पालमपुर में?
हाँ, बस पहुंच गया घर में। हाँ, उठ गया था, मीटिंग थी। कल 7 बजे हम अपनी मीटिंग भी करना चाह रहे थे। कल होंगे आप?
कल शाम को?
हाँ।
जूम है? जूम ऑनलाइन?
हाँ, ऑनलाइन। आप यही हैं?
I will be available. Ravi, start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening to all. Welcome to the lecture series number 49. Today we have the lecture title is Contributions of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to Constitution of India. Today our speaker is Sri Shivarudrappa N B from Karnataka, Advocate, High Court of Karnataka, Bengaluru City. So I will give very brief introduction about sir. Shivarudrappa Garu, retired Additional Director, Karnataka State Audit and Accounts Department, currently practicing law in the High Court of Karnataka, and also visiting faculty in FPI, Bengaluru, and ATI, Mysore, life member of ISEC, Bengaluru. Sir vision is Prabuddha Bharat, the enlightened happy India. Sir mission is annihilation of caste. So, strategy of Sir is educating society to liberate it from centuries old mental slavery to Maoism and casteism and putting it on the path of human development and economic progress and political stability. Spreading equanimity and gender sensitization. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Shivarudrappa Garu. Sir, please give a lecture. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. Jai Bhim to all of you.
Jai Bhim.
I have prepared a PPT. I just want to share it if
You
possible.
can share, sir. I given the co-host to you. You can
Please.
share it.
There's a provision. Okay. Yes, sir. Right. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, yes, sir.
Great, sir. Okay. In fact, recently, even the Supreme Court of India, they have installed Babasaheb's statue, accepting that is supremacy over the law. He is the highest authority of law by his the knowledge. And almost every day he is cited in passing the orders in the constitutional matters, especially the opinions he has given in the Constituent Assembly on some of the issues that are raised in the discussion. So that is his authority. Now, when Lakshmi sir contacted me to give a topic, I selected this one, the contributions of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the Constitution of India. The reason being, Babasaheb is reckoned only in statues. That's what we see. Thousands of statues are installed, and then we try to see Babasaheb in statues. But I find Babasaheb in statutes in the law. So Babasaheb is arrived. So he is available in the statutes, and anyone who is serious to know and understand or give respect to Babasaheb, then he must search Babasaheb in the statutes. That is the law. So I'm the law student, the constitutional law students rather. So my search of Babasaheb is in the constitutional law, the highest law of the nation. The reason being, the solutions for the sufferings of the millions of the oppressed, called the untouchables especially, lies in the constitutional remedies, which we have not tried seriously. Of course, there are a lot of the challenges, obstructions against the effort also. With all that, a serious effort in finding solutions for the sufferings of the oppressed, so that lies in the constitution. That is what prompted me. This is my understanding. That has prompted me to select this topic, the contributions of Babasaheb Ambedkar. See, now I am looking at the contributions from two perspectives. One is in the process of making the constitution, and the other one is the purpose for which the constitution was made. Firstly, the process. In the process, what exactly was the Babasaheb's contribution in making the constitution? So for that, I think we have the recorded document, that is Constituent Assembly debates, available in the Parliament library. And there is no one can dispute so far as his contribution to the making of the constitution. He headed the drafting committees of 7 members, and then ultimately, say the responsibility of making the constitution fell on him. Single-handedly has to do that because of the so many reasons. And the reasons was explained by T.T. Krishnamachari in the Constituent Assembly, and that is recorded. The reason being, some of the members were not, because on health grounds, they were not able to attend, and then because of so many other reasons. So ultimately, the entire responsibility of drafting the constitution fell on the shoulders of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. So that's what. And later on, after the draft constitution was made, it was presented before the Constituent Assembly. And then on 4th November 1948, by his opening speech on the Constituent Assembly, then Babasaheb Ambedkar made actually, he has introduced the draft constitution, the Constituent for the debate. And then that debate went up to 25th November 1949. So on the speech what is delivered on 4th November 1948, it was on the focus on implementation of the constitution. In that, Babasaheb Ambedkar stressed that a good constitution could be rendered ineffective if those implementing it were not good. And conversely, a flawed constitution could be made to work well by a capable administration. This is what the clarity has given. So, constitution making, in addition to the making the constitution, so the implementation is more important than mere making. This is what his contention was, and that was made clear to the Constituent Assembly on 4th November 1948. And also, coming to the second point, what he has raised in presenting the draft constitution was the responsibility of independence. In fact, so long as the British were there who were ruling, the entire blame was put on them. Now the responsibility is shifted on the Indians who taken the independence. So Babasaheb pointed out that independence, while a cause for celebration, yes, we are celebrating the independence, fine, but also placed a greater burden on the citizens to ensure things ran smoothly, as there would be no one else to blame. Exactly, we had to take the responsibility of taking the things and running the government or running the country smoothly. That is another thing. Then we need to adhere to the constitutional methods. This is what that was stressed. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar urged the people to rely on constitutional methods to achieve their social and economic aspirations, and to preserve democracy in both form and substances. This is in contrast to the path followed by Gandhi and its Congress fighting against the British, the disobedience movement, civil disobedience, right, other things. So such methods are not necessary now because the Constitution has been it has come, and then so all any remedy or then any progress that has to be made shall be through the constitutional methods only. That has been stressed by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. And in the debates and discussions following the President, Constituent Assembly engaged in a period of intense debate, in fact, and discussion on the draft with members proposing amendments and expressing their views on various articles. More than 5,000 amendments were moved, and then about 2,000 admitted, and remained 3,000 rejected. So in that process, if you could make out in the Constituent Assembly debates, very interesting, that the chairman sitting on the chair, then this one managing the debates and other things. So, but whenever there was a dissent or the dispute, so far as the articles are concerned, and then the amendments moves whether to admit the amendments or not, then ultimately the chairman used to turn to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, who in the capacity as the drafting committee chair was presenting the constitution for passing. Say whatever the Babasaheb ultimately said, so far as the moment of this one amendment is concerned, that was taken as the final verdict. So that is the authority what Babasaheb enjoyed in the Constituent Assembly. That is a great contribution. And then coming to the most important things, one should not forget. In fact, it's this point missed out in discussions on the Constitution. Say some of the members vehemently argued that village panchayat shall be the autonomous units for the in the political system. The polity should recognize village committees as the autonomous systems, autonomous authorities.
Shivarudrappa garu, please, you are something is happening, abstracting. Please close your video, then it will be
okay,
better.
Sure.
Wise actually.
Why is it abstracting?
Yeah.
The signal is not good, I think. Okay.
I'll just one second. Sure. Yeah, sir. So I think it's okay now.
I think you can continue, then we can see.
Yeah, it's okay. So the one important the matter that has arisen in the process of debate. Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One important the challenge that has arisen in the discussion, that the debate and discussions, that some of the members very vehemently they argued for recognizing village panchayats or village communities as the authorities so far as the village administration is concerned. Then Babasaheb rejected that one, especially on the reason that the villages could be a source of localism, ignorance, and then the oppression. This is the reason. Yes, exactly. So if village communities are recognized as autonomous the administrative units, then the individual be subjected to oppression, especially in the caste system. And the worst sufferers could be the untouchables. So that's the reason he rejected and made individual as a unit of the recognition in the polity. So that great contribution what we find in the Constitution by Babasaheb, recognizing individual as a unit for the governance, and then recognizing individuals the rights, the fundamental rights. That is the basic the principle of the Constitution that we have seen. And then coming to another important this one part of the Constitution, that is directive principle of state policy. So in that regard, Babasaheb defended making them as the not challengeable in the court, not justiciable. Understand that what legally not enforceable, but they are fundamental for guiding the government in promoting peace, order, and then good governance. That is the importance of directive principle of state policy. In fact, why one should know the constitution? The reason is, say, whether the governance, whether the political parties who have rise to power, they are doing the administration following the directive principles of state policy or not. That's from that perspective, one should know the constitution. If the government is not adhering to the directive principles of state policies, then definitely the fruits of administration will not be reaching the neglected community, or what we call the Bahishkrut Bharat. That's that. So that is the reason why one should know about the constitution, and then the importance and the responsibilities the constitution is putting on the government, especially, and the parliament also. So then coming to the speech delivered on 25th November 1949, that is the concluding speech. So this actually, this speech was delivered on 25th November 1949. So it encapsulates the purpose for which the constitution was made. And in that, we say the constitutionalism is emphasized. What constitutes the constitutionalism? Is that the need to adhere to the constitutional methods. So once again, he has emphasized on that. Says need to adhere to constitutional methods for achieving social and economic objectives, emphasizing the importance of abandoning violent revolution, the what he called as the grammar of anarchy. There shall not be any grammar of anarchy. And then we have the constitution. Everyone should know the provisions of the constitutions available in the constitution and follow it, and then assert their the rights and things, and then look for the development. This is what the constitution is. Working of the constitution, once again it is repeated. Ambedkar pointed out that the effectiveness of the constitution relies heavily on those who implement it. He stated that even a well-designed constitution would fail in wrong hands. So that's what we are seeing today. The constitution is in the wrong hands. That's why it is failing. And he also said a flawed constitution. If the constitution has some defects, then also it can succeed. A flawed one could succeed with the right people. If the right people are honest, committed, even if there are some flaws in the constitutional provisions, it will succeed in delivering the justice, or then doing the welfare of the people. Then coming to the social and economic democracy, other point he has stressed on is the democracy. Democracy is not just the political democracy that what we see in the electoral form. No, not just that. It's more of that social and economic democracy. On that, say he said, actually, the constitution is if it's mistaken for the political democracy in the form of electoral process of say the one vote, one person, one vote, one value. More than that, the inequality that prevails in the social and then economic sphere, that has to be removed at the earliest. This is what the contradictions between the social democracy and the political democracy and the social and economic democracy. So that contradictions have to be removed at the earliest. This is what he has stressed on. He warned against merely achieving political democracy while ignoring social and economic inequalities. He believed that true democracy requires social justice and equality. So this is what his thought was, and that is the necessity, in fact. Then coming to the most important thing, the potential for dictatorship. In fact, the electoral process, if in the electoral process, if the voter is not an enlightened one, and then this hero worship, that's what we are seeing today. If it leads to the electoral process leads to hero worship, that's the sometimes it's called bhakti. And now we are seeing the bhakti in politics, stating that it could lead to degradation and dictatorship. That's what we are seeing now. That's how this one the constitution being failed by unscrupulous the people, then importance of the people. So actually, the constitution is people-centric, and Babasaheb is ideology is people-centric only. And then the constitution is all about the relationship between the people and power. Constitution is about the relationship between people and power. Then the constitution establishes, actually prescribes a healthy relationship between the people and power. And the ultimate sovereign power rests with the people, not with the parliament or not with any other authority. It's the people who are sovereign. And then that sovereign power flows to the state with the direction, with a dictum that the state shall work to uphold the fundamental rights of the people and also to work for their welfare, their development. This is exactly what the constitution is. Constitution prescribes the healthy relationship between the people and the power. So constitution is people-centric, and then constitution recognizes the people as the sovereign power. Then with regards to that, yes, Babasaheb highlighted that the success of the constitution hinged on the people and the political parties that would represent them, most important. So the role of people in making constitution a success is so important. That's why the literacy, political literacy matters a lot. If the people are politically illiterate, then the constitution fails. That is what the Babasaheb said. Then the potential for contradictions. There in that, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar foresaw a potential contradiction between political equality and social and economic equality in India, expressing concern about the persistence of social hierarchies. That is the caste system. Kindly remember that everything in India happens in accordance with the caste hierarchy only. Whether it is sharing of power or sharing of the opportunities or sharing of the wealth or sharing of the national income. So everything happens in accordance. It's happening even today. That's what we are seeing as per the caste hierarchy in the system, caste system. So that should go. This is the very dangerous contradiction that has been prevailing, that has been failing the constitution. Then call for action ultimately. Babasaheb urged the nation to be vigilant against threats to democratic ideals and to actively work towards removing inequalities to preserve the constitution and the principles of government of the people, by the people and for the people, with emphasis laid on by the people. Yes, this is what the accepted the principle is. The democracy is by the people, democracy is government of the people, by the people and for the people. The presently, of course, prima facie it appears of the people, and then by their sloganeering and by their advertisement and everything, they proclaim that yes, it is for the people, but it is not actually by the people. That is, people shall participate actively in the governance. That's not happening. This is exactly what Babasaheb wanted. The governance should be by the people. If it is not, the constitution will not work. Then coming to this is what I given the beginning. Political illiteracy. See, this is Bertolt Brecht's the philosophy on this political illiteracy. Very candidly, he says, and it is a reality. The worst illiterate is the political illiterate. He is the worst illiterate. Amongst all the illiterates, he is the worst. He hears nothing, sees nothing, takes no part in political life. He doesn't seem to know that the cost of living. Then what is the cost of his living? And he will be earning a lot then in lakhs and lakhs, but still he is unaware of the cost of living. The price of beans, a floor, of rent, of medicines, all depend on political decisions. Actually, the price fixing or the prices of the commodities every day we use, they are the results of the political decisions. The petrol, yes, we were promised in 2013 before election that the petrol price will be brought down to 25 rupees. Now they are not. It crossed 100 rupees. Yes, that's a political decision. And no answer for that. The promises have gone to air, and so many other things. And even the GST like things. Then,
Hello.
please. Sir. Any problem, sir?
Shivarudrappa ji.
Sir, tell me,
Any
sir.
problems? Nothing,
Okay,
sir. No problem.
continue, please. Some.
Am I audible?
Now audible.
Yes, sir.
now
Yes, sir.
audible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Say, then this political illiterate, so he even prides himself on his political ignorance, stick out his chest and says he hates politics. Arey Baba, what is politics? Why should anybody hate the politics? Say, if one is hating politics means he is accepting the life of slavery, because politics should be run by him only. Now, he should not give out the politics to be run to some unscrupulous elements. So this thing, he doesn't know the imbecile that from his political non-participation comes the prostitute, most serious, the woman degradation, the abandoned child, yes, the child being abandoned for not, the parents are not capable of the taking care. The robber, and worst of all, corrupt officials, the lackey of exploitative multinational corporations, they run the government. That's not what happening. Today, India is run by crony capitalism. Crony capitalism, wherein there is a strong nexus between the government and the business, the corporate sector, and then the benefits being passed on to the corporate sector, giving the concessions, waiving of writing off the bank debts in lakhs of crores. So the government is run by crony capitalism, and it's all because of the political illiteracy is what we see. Then the heart of the Constitution. What for the Constitution? What's the purpose of the Constitution? That I have discussed. So I say that the purpose of Constitution is to make India a nation. And I have also discussed what constitutes a nation. In brief, I say that nation is nothing but the people who are living harmoniously, peacefully. That's actually the nation. Nation refers to the people, their life. And then Article 38 specifies it. What it says, state to secure a social order for the promotion of welfare of the people. The state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing and protecting as effectively as it may a social order. This is motive. As there shall be a social order in which justice, social, economic, and then political shall inform all institutions of the national life. So the Constitution says there is a national life. What exactly the national life meant by the Constitution? That has to be looked into. In fact, we need to investigate what constitutes the national life. Does India has a national life? This is the question. And then Constitution expects there shall be a national life in which the institutions of the national life or inform the social justice, economic and political justice informed that. Whether the justice is prevailing in the national life or not, that is a question that for us. Now, coming to most important thing, against the nationalism, what we find is the pseudoism. Pseudoism is exactly what I find. In the name of nationalism, what is being thought of, what is being practiced is the pseudoism. The pseudoism is the intellectual spuriousness or artificiality, a pretense of knowledge. We boast of that, yes, there is nation. We talk about nation, but in reality, it is a pretense of knowledge or understanding that is not genuine. What we are uttering as the nation or Rashtra, the Hindu Rashtra kind of thing, it's not genuine, it is just a pretense. It is a false or misleading appearance of knowledge or expertise. Then this is an act of pretending to be knowledgeable. Yes, we pretend that we know what the nation is, but really it is not so. The act of pretending to be knowledgeable when one is not. and also a superficial display of intellectualism or scientific understanding. So we talk a lot, and then we convince the people, yes, this is the nation, this, but it is not really so. It is superficial display of intellectualism and scientific understanding. Then coming to the situations where the pseudoism is acting, or we find someone using jargon or complex terms they don't fully understand to appear intelligent. We are confusing the people with the nationalism. A person making claims about scientific topics without proper evidence or understanding of the subject matter. These Gober politicians and then Gober scientists, they who are finding a solution for the national problem in the Gober, the cow dung. So cow dung, the politicians, and then cow dung, this scientists. Even the scientists, then they are coming up with some assertions that there is solution in the cow dung and then cow urine kind of thing. This is what the pathetic condition of the Indian politics. An individual adapting an intellectual or philosophical stance without genuine conviction or deep thought. I cite the Gandhian intellectuals. Gandhian intellectuals, so they fail to understand what the true nationalism in India is. This is the thing. Then coming to the Babasaheb, so the philosophy on Hinduism, so that in the part one, in volume one, it is greatly discussed by Babasaheb Ambedkar. What actually Hinduism is, what these people boasting of, and then it is nothing but a caste system. Hinduism is nothing but the caste system, nothing else. And he is a strong critic of the caste system. The reason being, why did he criticize strongly the caste system? Because it degrades the human life itself. Then, yeah. Then he rejects the Hinduism social philosophy. No, it is, there is no concrete principles you find in the Hinduism social philosophy. That's why it is rejected. And he called for reforms also. He made an effort. Babasaheb made an effort to reform the Hinduism, and then he gave a call, and then even he participated. He was called by this Jat Path Todak Mandal conducted in Lahore in 1937, and then that famous annihilation of caste, that speech was drafted. Then conversion to Buddhism. Ultimately, after a lot of study and then a lot of tolerance to the Hindus and other things, ultimately Babasaheb decided to return back to the ancient, the path of life of the Bhojans, that is the Buddhism. And then, and it's justified also. He justified why he returned back to the Buddhism. Then emphasis on equality and human dignity. He emphasized the importance of equality and humanity for functioning of the constitution. And the Annihilation of Caste is the famous book that actually it's the political philosophy of the India, most importantly. Then the conversion to Buddhism and the relationship between the constitution and the Buddhism. Then Babasaheb, say, while explaining the relationship between the trilogy, that is liberty, equality, and then fraternity, say, in detail, he explained, especially when he delivered a speech in the Constituent Assembly on 25th November 1949, say, the relation between the three. And he said, say, these are the values that were existing when the Buddhism was prevailing in India. And these are the great values. And he has taken those values from, he said, he's my master. I have taken these values, the liberty, equality, and then fraternity from my master, the Buddha. And people have mistaken it, that is taken from the French Revolution. It is not so, because the three values, liberty, equality, and then fraternity, as the great human values, have deeper connotation or deeper meaning and then value in Buddhism than in any other philosophical thought. That is the reality. Then the other thing, then ultimately, one should not forget that the Babasaheb's constitutionalism exists specifically in the memorandum what Babasaheb submitted before the Constituent Assembly on 15th March 1947 in the title States and Minorities. So that was the time when there was nothing clear about the role what Babasaheb could play in the constitution making. He was still the member. In fact, he was elected as this one member of the drafting committee on the 28th August 1947, and then on 29th he was elected as the chairman of the drafting committee. Till such time, Babasaheb was not sure about what was his role, how he could be able to safeguard the rights, the fundamental rights of the untouchables who are subjected to the oppression and then atrocities, discrimination for centuries. Protecting the fundamental rights of the depressed class or the untouchables was a big challenge. And then the vast majority of the Constituent Assembly members, they lacked the sympathy towards the untouchables. That was the situation. At that time, Babasaheb submits a memorandum to the Constituent Assembly under the title States and Minorities. So in fact, it's exists in the volume 1. And very honestly, I admit that today I made a serious readings of this States and Minorities to understand the constitutional philosophy of Babasaheb Ambedkar. So there he stresses on the fundamental rights for all, and then especially the remedies against invasion of fundamental rights. Of course, this is incorporated in the under fundamental rights, Article 32 and then 226, 227 of the Constitution. So gives the remedies if the rights are not are invaded. And Babasaheb's philosophy is that mere provision of fundamental rights in Constitution so make no sense unless there are remedies for the violation of the fundamental rights. So that's there. Then provisions for protection of minorities, he makes that the minorities here means not just the religious minorities. Babasaheb declared even in 19 itself, when he made a presentation, submitted a memorandum before Southborough Committee. So he asserted that the depressed class shall be treated as separate religious minorities. They are the minorities. Most importantly, in the social life, they are the minorities. They are kept separately, and there is no social interaction. There is no economic relationship, and that's the reason their life is degraded. They should be treated as separate people, as the minorities, social, economic, and then religious minorities. So from that context, from that perspective, in fact, the Scheduled Caste Federation demands Babasaheb Ambedkar to submit a memorandum. On that demand, Babasaheb submits this memorandum to the Constituent Assembly. So in that, he makes the provision for protection of minorities, most importantly, safeguards for the scheduled caste. My request to all the participants, kindly go through this memorandum, the states and minorities. We can have another session on that. Most importantly, the constitutional philosophy of Babasaheb is there, and the guarantees and then special responsibility. Here, the important point, what we find in the states and minorities is that the economic, the environment for the economic development of the untouchables, most importantly. And also he stresses that the agriculture shall be declared as an industry, and then agriculture shall be nationalized. And the present situation wherein the land holding is there, the people having larger land holdings, and then that has led to the landless laborers situation, and then the rural poverty condition, everything. And in fact, Babasaheb's philosophy of the small holdings on the agricultural problem. So that was actually incorporated in the states and minorities, the guarantees and then special responsibilities. In this special response, the special responses comes the reservation, political reservation, then reservation in employment, reservation in education, and then not just the reservation, financing for the education of untouchables in education. So these are the things that's actually incorporated in the memorandum submitted before the state's minorities, before the Constituent Assembly thing. So the overall view, looking at the process and then purpose. Say Babasaheb has contributed in the process.
Shivarudrappa garu,
Yes.
conclude in 5 minutes.
Yes, I'm concluding, sir.
Okay.
I'm concluding. So he is Babasaheb participated in the process, making the constitution a strong constitution which can hold together. Today the population is 144 crores, a big democracy we have with so much diversification, the people divided into more than 6,000 castes, and then it's very difficult to hold them together. And then so many other divisive forces now they have become stronger, and then opposing threat to the existence of the country itself. So with all that, the constitution lived for more than 75 years. And then still it is growing stronger with young minds showing interest in learning about the constitution, then realizing that unless the constitution is protected and preserved, then their life will be at stake. So that's the reason. So with that, I'm concluding. Babasaheb has contributed for the making of the constitution and also giving clarity to its purpose of making India a nation. This is the harmonious living. So this is a brief account of the topic, contributions of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar to the Constitution of India. And everyone should know this, in fact. Because there are some narratives coming up here and there that it's not Ambedkar who has made and someone has written the constitution. This kind of nonsense is also going on. And of course, people are rejecting it as the nonsensical narratives with all that. But it's our duty to realize what the great contributions the Babasaheb has made in making the constitution and strengthening it and giving the safeguards to the life of especially the depressed. Thanks for your patient hearing, sir, and Jai Bhim to all of you. Sir, I concluded.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I think in short time you agreed to talk on this issue. I think it's a very elaborate issue. Not it will not enough time to deliver in 50 minutes, 1 hour contribution of Babasaheb Ambedkar for the constitution making. I think it's some aspects you delivered in detailed. Thank you very much, sir. I think I open to floor to discuss questions. Anything anybody can ask the Shivarudrappa garu.
Sir, I am Mahendra Kumar Anand from Jaipur. I have 2 questions, sir.
Jai Bhim, sir, please,
So
sir.
please ask.
First question is, now since you have also referred ki people say ki B.N. Rao was the architect. So what arguments we should have, documentary arguments, so we can put before them? Was there any appointment letter given to B.N. Rao? Was his role clarified? If so, where we can find that? First thing. Second question is that Dr. Ambedkar opposed the supremacy of rural area. Agreed. But now after the passage of this Panchayati Raj Act, won't we say that they have reversed the position originally stipulated during Dr. Ambedkar's time after this passage of Panchayati Raj Bill? These are my 2 questions, sir.
Sir, coming to your first question, the role of B.N. Rao in making of the constitution. In fact, he was appointed as the constitutional expert. That is true. And also, Babasaheb has acknowledged his role in the speech he has delivered on 25th November 1949. That's there. Then what exactly he has done? That's the point. Correct. So actually, he was appointed before the drafting committee was elected. And then the B.N. Rao of course, no doubt he is the constitutional expert. He had the good knowledge of the constitution, and he collected the constitutions of various countries, and then he made a draft. And then draft was, of course, a very sketchy and other things, a very small document. But since it was the mandate of the Constituent Assembly to consider that draft given by the B.N. Rao, the drafting committee did consider. But kindly look into the competency, the intellectual capacity of the drafting committee. Committee consisting of 7 members, headed by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. And there we have this one Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, and then Gopal Swami Iyengar, the K.M. Munshi, Sadaullah, and all other things. They also had good knowledge. In fact, Babasaheb acknowledged their the erudition in the Constituent Assembly. So whatever Babasaheb has said in the Constituent Assembly, that we should admit that's there. But later on, what happened? How long the B.N. Rao stayed? He did not stay till the end of this adoption of Constitution. Somewhere middle he has left. Then the entire responsibility fell on the Babasaheb Ambedkar. Then whatever the sketchy draft he had given, that was considered. But remember, Babasaheb entered the Constituent Assembly with a barrister degree in law. And he had the knowledge of all the constitutions of the various constitutions of various the countries. So the knowledge of Babasaheb was much deeper, and then more importantly, the knowledge what he has borrowed from the various constitutions and various constitutions. In addition to that, those constitutional principles had to be adapted to the situation that is prevailing in India. A workable constitution. B.N. Rao gave a sketchy draft, but making that as a workable constitution in a situation of India with so much of diversification and so much of, contradictions, especially what Babasaheb said, the social and then economic contradictions in the caste system. Then, of course, then what happens now? These people who are now they're projecting B.N. Rao as the one who has written and then not Ambedkar. Say these are the people who initially opposed the drafting of the Constitution. Please remember. Please refer to their organizer. They said, no, we don't want the Constitution drafted by a Dalit, an untouchable, and we want to reintroduce the Manusmriti. That is what they're trying to do. In fact, these are all the tricks they are playing in order to divert the attention of the people, because lately the people started getting awareness that the Constitution is the greatest contribution of Babasaheb Ambedkar to India. So now, since people have accepted, and then Constitution has become an accepted the norm, now they have changed their color. Now they said, okay, it's B.N. Rao. Correct, B.N. Rao was there, and what B.N. Rao has done, Babasaheb has said in the Constituent Assembly. But ultimately, who moved the Constitution in the Constituent Assembly? That matters. And then who gave the clarity to the Constitution? These two things. That's the reason why. Actually, keeping that question in my mind only, I gave this topic. The process and then purpose. In the process, what was the role played by B.N. Rao? And the purpose, what clarity has given to the purpose of the Constitution? Nothing. In the process also, not more than giving a sketchy draft which is running to few pages, and then there ends the matter. But say, in fact, if you read the Memorandum of States and Minorities, you will see, in fact, Babasaheb said that the present, in the present condition, just mere copying the constitutions that were enacted, adapted by the countries decades ago or a century ago. So if they are flawed, especially he finds flaws in the constitutions, the American Constitution and all the constitutions which are referred, Babasaheb was able to find the flaw because they limited their scope only to fundamental rights, and they did not bother to consider the social and economic rights. So that is what the difference we find in the Constitution of India. The DPSP is about the social and then economic rights. And nobody can expect a B.N. Rao to think on those lines to that deeper level about the Constitution. And of course, this is the nature of that community, which always takes the credit of some others to toil and then the sweat. That is always there. It is Babasaheb's sweat and then toil that has made the Constitution. And these people, of course, thinking. And if they are coming forth with that one, they should answer one question, that is, what is his participation in Constituent Assembly debate? One thing. It is not the draft. It is the final adapted Constitution. That is the Constitution what we have. What this one B.N. Rao gives is a sketchy draft. That was not the Constitution. The sketchy draft of B.N. Rao is not the Constitution. What was adapted, enacted, and then given to ourselves on 26th November 1949, that is the Constitution. That is the Constitution what Babasaheb has given. And what the draft sketch given by the B.N. Rao is not the Constitution. It's not the Constitution. So that is the thing. Then, sir, coming to your second point. I'm sorry, I've forgotten, sir. Can you please remind me, sir, the second point what you raised?
The Panchayati Raj.
Yes, sir, please.
Amendment.
Yes. So certainly, sir. In fact, the Constitution, the working of Constitution is defeated again by the caste system. The caste system has defeated. And then the decentralization, that was the necessity, decentralization of power to reach the people. But one protection that is given to the oppressed here is the reservation in the local bodies. There is participation, of course. Still, even in the parliament, we have the discrimination. Parliament, there we have the practice of untouchability. And then the state legislatures and the state government, we have the discrimination. It's only the reservation that is safeguarding these people. If there is no reservation, perhaps Constitution would have become an irrelevant process for especially the oppressed class. It's only the reservation that is protecting. But unfortunately, through this universal adult franchise, by which the oppressed are given the voting power, that is not consolidated to assert their to get their share in the power. That's one thing. And sorry, I missed out another important point. Babasaheb in this States and Minorities Memorandum declares that this Pune Pact shall be abolished. It should not be continued. Again, the separate electorate has to be restored. So that is what the demand of Babasaheb Ambedkar before the Constituent Assembly through the states and minorities. Yes, they should come back. Correct. The rural life, the rural panchayats, still there we have the caste atrocities. Even the elected panchayat sarpanch, the president, if he is a Dalit or a Dalit woman, then she will not be allowed to sit on the chair. That's what's happening. But it is a continuous struggle. We need to, that's what Baba said, get organized, educate, agitate, organize. That's the principle what we should follow, even to get the benefits of the Constitution, enjoy the fruits of the Constitution. We should follow the three commandments: educate, agitate, and organize. Otherwise, it's difficult. Whose fault it is? We are not serious about educating ourselves about the Constitution safeguards, most important. In fact, my LLM dissertation is on that only, Constitution safeguards of untouchables, and then how effectively they are working, how effectively the Constitution is working in safeguarding the rights of that is my LLM dissertation, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a very wonderful and very enlightening for all of us, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
There is a question in chat box. I will read it.
Please, sir.
From Sachendra Pratap Yadav. His question is, without social and cultural capital, cultural capital, can we enjoy the truly political democracy?
Certainly not, sir. There shall be. In fact, DPSP is for creating the social and then cultural asset only. There shall be. That's the. In fact, this is what the directive on the state directive principle is. State policy is for that purpose only. But the government is held. That's the power is held by again the casteist minds. And they are not seriously implementing the DPSP. They're not following it. That's why. But without creating social and then social, economic, and then cultural assets, so what we call this human capital. Human capital has to be created. In fact, so I always look at one thing. So India having a population of 144 crores as a huge internal market, consumption market. But these successive governments are failing to exploit that market potentialities, and then they are failing. It's a consumer market on 44 crore population. Then that's another thing. Another thing is through education we need to build this one human capital. Most importantly, because human capital is what is the investment what we find in the economics to flourish. Say we are failing against dollar. Why? It's all because of the failure of the governance. Failure of government is the result of failing rupee against the dollar. That's because we have failed to build human capital and utilize its potentiality in the growth of the economy of the country. Certainly, sir. Good question. Sure. Yes, because of the failure of the government and also because of the failure of the people to realize the importance of that. That's the social and then cultural capital. Yes. The fault lies on both. Please, sir.
Is there anybody can have any questions? Please ask. Otherwise, we can conclude the today's lecture. Please, if
Sir,
anybody wants,
my ultimate request to all of you, please, sir.
sir.
Sir, I think we need to spend at least a few hours a day, say, reading Babasaheb's writings, most importantly. Because that's an enormous wealth, it's an asset with us. Babasaheb's writings are a great asset for us. So that enlighten us. In fact, my request, in fact, so most of you are doing it, and that knowledge has to be shared. Then the community, in fact, if there are 22 volumes, there shall be some groups taking up the volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, like that. Then this series, what we are doing with a lecture series kind of things, the group has to come up with different, say, the topics like this, what I give them, different topics to enlighten the depressed, the untouchables on the philosophy of Babasaheb, what actual philosophy he had. So that is there in his writings and speeches. That's my humble request to all of you, sir, please. Jai.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Shivarudrappa Garu. I think it's a very wonderful lecture, and your responses to the questions also is very
There is one
comprehensive.
question, sir. How can we take forward kind of thing? There's a question. Yes, continuous reading and then organizing, educating. Most importantly, so I think we should come out of this political illiteracy.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. We can conclude. The
Please.
next session will be the Saturday. Thank you, sir.
thank you, Vananda. We'll meet on Saturday.
So thank you, sir. Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim, sir. Jai Bhim, sir.
Thank all for conducting and the speaker. Jai Bhim.